So back to the best type of mission, which is an escort mission. But actually, the escort missions, like I said, with one very big exception, aren't that bad in this game.
Oh, that's good.
So first, we get to choose our mech, and we've got a 75-ton max. So I'm going to go with my most favoritist, which is the Timberwolf, aka the Mad Cat.
Mad Cat.
And yes, and we've got to defend a hover train that takes resources from a mining facility to a processing plant.
Local time is 12:46.
And you can see the very
I can't see.
Clearly, it's just what's happening is there's a dust storm. That's what's going on. It's affecting our visibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna waste no missiles on this gunship. I can just shoot him. Yeah, I can shoot him. Nico, I can shoot him. You gotta believe in me. You didn't believe hard enough. That's what the problem was. Yeah, aircraft, just so happens significantly less armor, and they also take damage from passing through the exploding corpses of their friends.
Huh, interesting.
But they have
considering they're in the air.
Yeah, but they don't actually. These ones in this game don't actually go into different planes. They're just higher up, and they just move around in that plane, basically.
So, if something were to explode underneath them, that would still count?
No. What I mean is that they're not going to go lower or higher to an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to run right into it. So we've got the hover train, as you can see, and we got to defend it. And there's going to be guys coming to get it, and it's an escort mission. I like shooting these gunships out of the air though, because they're easy to shoot down and they make a nice explosion, so, it's satisfying. And this time, I am going to use some missiles because I wanted to see, honestly. And yeah, it one-shots them.
They're far away enough.
Yeah, and it one-shots them, so it's not a huge... And plus, I have 240 ammo on each of those, and it shoots 20 at a time, so I've got 12 shots with each of them. I feel like I've got the extra... Oh no, my hovercraft's under attack, or hover train is under attack.
Jeez, there's a lot of them.
Yep. That's how they make up for the fact that they're pretty weak. But...
And there's something exploding further up there.
That I made a lot of explosions happen, But the funny thing about these is, if you look at the little radar picture, they look very weird, and then if you see them from underneath, they have a big old, helicopter thing in the middle. Like, they've got a big, it looks like they're, hovercraft of some kind. Mm-hmm. Oh, and here you can see I'm turning my torso. That's why it looks all wobbly. Up at the top, that bar indicates how far your torso has turned.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that. The green bar that came up at the top of
the solid green.
Yeah. But the weird thing about this is, you can shoot off the individual little wings from these. I don't typically, I just blow them up by shooting the center, but you can shoot off the little wings and they'll just keep on flying just fine.
Just fine. I mean,
yeah,
they can't change the plane of existence.
Yeah, I mean, until they explode.
That is true.
But yeah, I mean, I like any mission that lets me play a Timberwolf, but this one's a little dull. Not a lot of action going on.
Yeah, but the music is very fitting for it.
Yeah, they have environmentally dependent soundtrack choices.
Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna bring up something that I hadn't talked about yet, which was rights issues with this game. Now, this game's pretty popular and would have gotten that Steam remaster release. Ooh, actually, real quick, that guy's up on top of the place, and he's gonna jump off the edge and then come down to shoot at the train, which I think is pretty nifty.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to have to deal with him, and I also don't want to accidentally shoot the hover train, so I'm gonna aim my missiles up so that they'll arc over.
Perfect.
and then kill them. Yeah.
Enemy mech destroyed.
But yeah, the rights issues.
Rights issues, yes. So, BattleTech, the tabletop game that all these mechs come from, and the world comes from, and also the early games, and there were I believe graphic novels, but certainly novels and things like that with art and artists who designed each of these mechs. So each of them was owned by different people and things like that. And then so there's a lot of rights issues in general already present, and there were some mechs in this game that you will not see in any future games ever, because basically the people who own the rights don't want to allow them to be used. So there's a number of mechs in this that are called unseen, because they've just basically been wiped from the history, so that
They're
they
not.
can continue.
Yeah, so they're legally owned by somebody else, which is why this game is unreleasable.
Here's the wireframe.
This
because
is
I got
what
sick
the
of it.
Firewire frame is useful for.
Yes, because you can't really see much. So that's a direwolf. That's the heaviest, or a daishi, depending on if you're in the inner sphere or clan, which is the heaviest mech. It's 100 tons that you can have in this game. So it has a lot of firepower and armor, but once again, AI is AI and doesn't necessarily use it right. Anyway, so rights issue. Yeah. So, like I said, there's a lot of mechs in this game that you just won't see in future games if we record them, and you just won't see in stuff because they can't negotiate their use. And that's part of the reason why this game will never be, like you were saying, remastered and re-released, because they'd have to just remove mechs, and part of it is they're enemy mechs, not just mechs you can choose. So they can't just remove it as an option. They'd have to redesign the missions, basically. That's not gonna happen. Oh, also here I'm circling him with my torso turned to the right. So
I mean, all things considered, considering what the graphics are in here, they could kind of easily just put a picture of Glover in the way, and then I'd shoot at that instead. Yeah. Just change the model slightly, or replace it with another one that does a similar thing. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be...
And change the text that pops up when you target it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be super accurate to how it is, but if that's illegal...
Right. Maybe.
There have been changes like that made to some games due to legal issues. Like, for example, Breath of Fire 3.
Oh.
When it was re-released on the PSP, they had to change a certain boss design because it was a reference to something that they couldn't legally reference. But back then it wasn't that big of an issue. It became a bigger issue 10 years later.
Sort of like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yes, exactly. Because people weren't quite as anal about it back then.
Yep. Yeah, but so I turn on the autopilot so I can just cruise. But then I also noticed that there's a big mountain in the way, and remembering all the fun we had with that last time, and also knowing that you can get stuck in walls in this game and then have to redo this whole mission over again. I turned off the autopilot.
I mean, here you can't even tell you're walking into a wall.
Yeah, it's a little bit better in the full res version, but this is really where the wireframes come in handy, just so you know.
The dust storm.
And now our mom comes to pick us up from school. You know, she just wants to. She's pulling into the the parking lot, and we're gonna hop in and get some Capri Sun.
Yes, and she's like, did you enjoy your stork trek?
Mom, it's called a MechWarrior, okay? I'm a MechWarrior. You don't understand. Yeah, and like I said, I will typically click on the situation in Aftermath so you can read it if you want to. They've got like some good sci-fi fan fiction here. And it's all sorts of military stuff. But yeah, rights issues make it so this game won't be remade, but I own it 3 times, so I'm just going to play it on the DOS box.